Now, are South Africans conscious about shopping local? Do they want to shop local, or will they go wherever suits them best?
I think they're looking for what retailer can offer them from a fashionability that they're looking at, and also from a pricing perspective. So every now and again, I think they're prepared to pay up a little, but for those special items. But at the end of the day, where they want to know that they actually have got a good deal. So, and whatever that value offering is, they're going to buy against that. And I think Woolworths have been doing quite a good job, but I think they've got to keep their eye on the ball, and hopefully they'll do that going forward.
Is the weak rand going to be affecting retailers in South Africa?
Sure, I think everyone who's a retailer and has a portion of their merchandise being imported is hard affected by that. And so there's some of the retailers who are sourcing more and more locally, but there's always an element that gets imported, and it really has gone against them. So the pricing margins are pushed, yeah.
Now, you spoke about your winners and losers just a few moments ago. What makes people fade away? What puts the losers on the losers list?
It's always one of those interesting things that you try and dissect, and I guess you've got to be on top of your game every season, in and out. So if you don't change enough and read the market and understand and give the market what it wants, people really just forget about you. And the best example I can give you of brands that I would imagine the general public hasn't even noticed that they are fading away fast at the moment is the brands in the Platinum Group. So Jenny Button, Hilton Rena, Akajo, Urban, Vertigo have left a lot of the malls, and I don't think really because other brands have come in, caught your imagination, and I think we've forgotten about them. We get distracted. So if you have a brand in the marketplace, you've got to read the market right, and you've got to present that season in a fresh way and speak to what people want, or else people will just dismiss you. The competition is fierce.
What do people want this season?
Well, I think there's a lot of patterns. Seems to be different color palettes. There are the slightly brighter alternatives. But I guess the best one is to make sure that you have your basics in line, because the winning brands seem to have basics waxed so that you can get a good something cheap. I think that's what you'll see from H&M as well. They will have a very good basics in place. And then they'll try and, the better ones try and get you to buy up to slightly more higher pricing points on those special items that hopefully you can last, or you can persuade yourself that it's going to last for 2 or 3 years in your wardrobe, and then you'll pay that margin. So you've got to get that balance correct. It's got to look fresh, can't look like last season. I think that's the key.
Who do you predict is going to come out on top at the end of this retail season?
So my predictions of the winners are going to be in the niche areas would be, because they've only got one store, is old. H&M's going to do well, okay? But Fabiani as a local player, I think, has read the market well. Markham's as well. Woolworths, I think, will maintain as long as they don't lose sales. So they'll maintain because they're a big retailer. Edwards will do it wrong because they just haven't got the look and the feel and the presence and the confidence in store. I think that's it. They just don't have confidence in store. I think Foschini's gaining a little bit of ground there. Zara, I think, they don't have a very good season. But again, very few stores. And so I guess it's easier to get I think it's 5 stores they've got right than people who've got really big number of stores.
Do you predict a slow downward spiral for Edgar's, or do you think they're going to be able to pull themselves out of this?
I don't know. I would hope that they pull themselves out because they're a very big operation that a lot of people in South Africa rely on, and they have some amazing sites, locations where the stores are. So they've got a lot of things in favor. I think they've just got to get the right merchandise in. They've got to present themselves in the correct manner. And I think sometimes I've seen recently that they seem to have so much merchandise in the stores that your eye doesn't know where to go, and so you see nothing. And so as long as they can get that feeling that when you're in stores that you get the confidence that they know what they're talking about and they can lead you into a sale. I think that's where Zara does it very well. You find there's not too much merchandise on the floor of the store, and your eye is led to certain items, and that's why you pick up and you just buy those specific items. So to me, less is more in the retail space.
Is it true, I read somewhere that Zara actually doesn't do any marketing? Is that true?
They don't spend on any advertising at all.
Any advertising at all? How did they get that right?
Well, I think they have very short cycles of when they put their merchandise into store. I think they also are very sensitive to what the consumers are looking for, and so they're able to read those very carefully. I guess it's the epitome of disposable fashion. They're really on top of the game, very sensitive to the market, and when they see that there's a line that's not quite on trend and it's not selling as fast as they expected, they actually do an analysis as to why they hadn't won on that and look at the ones that they've won on. But it's a brand that is, if I'm not mistaken, number 30 or 33 top brands in the world. So it is one of the top all-time brands, not retail, all-time brands in the world. So, but as a group, Intertex as a group, if you look at their range of stores, they run a very good operation, covering off a lot of what I would call mass market fashion.
Should South Africans be a little bit more analytical in that same way that Zara is when it comes to managing their retail space?
Well, I think what they analyze is exactly what items are working for themselves, and they don't try and look at the competitors as much. So often you'll find some of the local operations trying to cover off what the competitors are doing. And if you're more certain about yourself and what you're putting forward, I think you can win over customers. I think it's reflected in their offering. So to me, globally, it's a well-run operation that understands giving consumers exactly what they want and not letting the back-end operations dictate how they see what they need for delivering on shelves.